I'm joined now by Julie Dawn Cole, who's laughing at that. She played Veruca Salt in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'm glad she's here. And Elizabeth Taylor-Mead, Executive Director of the Phoenix Cinema. Welcome to you both. But Julie, we have to start with a little bit of you in Willy Wonka. Here you are as Veruca Salt.
I want the world. I want the whole world. I want to lock it all up in my pocket. It's my bar of chocolates. Give it to me now. I want today.
Oh, it was going so well, and we all know what happened next.
Shall I fill in the blanks?
You're singing along in the studio to that. I mean, what's it like watching yourself back? So I can't quite figure out how many years ago it is. 43 years
43
ago.
years.
Wow.
Yes, I was only 3 at the time, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course it goes without saying.
I don't know. I mean, I have seen it a few times, and I suppose to me it's like looking at an old photograph album. I remember all the things that happened before, and I remember what we had for lunch that day and what we were doing afterwards. So it's fond memories.
Because the book, of course, is an out-and-out children's classic, as are most of Roald Dahl's books, but the film delivers on that promise, doesn't it? Or certainly this film does.
I'd like to think so. I think it's got some different levels that appeal to the adults, that appeal to children. You know, you watch it first time and you think, oh, that's great, looking at all the sweets and all of the wonderful sets and everything. The next time you start listening to some of the quotes and wondering, where did that come from?
Yes.
And that kind of thing.
There is a slightly sinister element in the form of Gene Wilder playing Willy Wonka. What was he like when you were playing?
Oh, shall I burst your bubble?
Yeah,
No.
He was lovely.
He was lovely.
He was
lovely. No, very sinister. He was delightful, but he wanted to play Wonka, Mr. Wonka, as though you never knew whether he was nice or nasty. So his rider was to be able to do that tumble at the beginning, which he didn't tell us that he was going to do. So thereafter, you never knew whether Mr. Wonka was lying.
So you and the film are in the archive. We'll ask you your choices in a sec. But first, Elizabeth, your best of British is Truly, Madly, Deeply. We'll have a look first, then we'll ask you about it in a moment.
He'll talk about what I'm doing, you know, some advice. He'll say, don't be frightened. I've told you, walk in the middle of the road at night.
Why is this so good?
I think it's very British. It's witty, it's an intelligent script. It's really it's heartwarming, it's heartbreaking, it's a ghost story, it's a comedy. It's about things that people really care about, lost love, will I ever find new love, do I want to live again? And it's set in Highgate.
Which you happen to like. Okay.
Which I love.
And it stands the test of time.
And it's a brilliant cast. It's
Okay.
Juliet Stevenson, it's Bill Patterson, and it's written and directed by Anthony Minghella, who was really a great, great talent, a great British talent.
Did The English Patient, of course, as well, which perhaps deserves to be in there too. Julie, what's yours?
I think I go back a little bit further. I think we should have certainly some of the Ealing comedies in there.
Yes.
Maybe Carry On, some of the Carry Ons, they're classics.
Okay.
Kind Hearts and Coronets.
Yeah, comedies we're all good at.
And A Night to Remember, Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers.
Can we, you know...
So, Pink Panther.
Pink Panther.
Let's have a look.
Your guests will be caused no embarrassment whatsoever. They will not even be aware that my men are present in their disguises.
In that case, you have my permission.
Something the Brits do really well, our comedy, it sells abroad, so it has to be in the archive if we're doing a British one.
I think so. I'm just so thrilled to be in this company. You know, if we're going to have a party in the archives, it's one hell of a cast, isn't it?
It is. Listen, I've picked one myself, and I think as a slice of life at the start of the swinging 60s, A Hard Day's Night is hard to beat. The Beatles' first movie. Here it is.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog.
Look, and they even fall over brilliantly. I mean, that has everything in it, doesn't it, Elizabeth? That really was the start of the swinging 60s.
And it was very stylish. It was directed by Richard Lester, who was actually an American director living in London who'd come out of commercials. And he had, you know, this was way before MTV, but it had that kind of fast-cutting, very vibrant, young feel to it.
Let's have a quick look at what viewers have been saying to us. Nazar Khani says The Green Mile and The Shawshank Redemption, best films of all time, both written by Stephen King, weren't they, of course. The Green Mile is also one that Lisa Nadin likes. Soylent Green, James Barrett says, well, I haven't seen, but you said it's great, Elizabeth, a great classic.
If you love movies.
Richard Lamb likes The Running Man, again, a Stephen King movie. The Colour Purple, I'm sure that's probably in there already. Can we have a quick blast at The Big Lebowski, which I know, Elizabeth, you picked, and I think is brilliant. Let's have a quick look at The Big Lebowski.
Soy el arma de
There's the Big Lebowski. That was actually Jesus, the bowling supremo. If you haven't seen that, it is one of the Coen brothers' greatest works. That has to be in the archive, doesn't it, Elizabeth?
Absolutely. It has the most, I think it's the most often repeated dialogue of any other film.
It
Everyone
really is.
knows the line. Everyone knows the dude abides.
The dude abides. And El Duderino, if you don't go for the whole brevity thing. Thank you both very much indeed. It's lovely to see you. You haven't changed a bit. You look phenomenal. And you can sing out, if you want, to the Willy Wonka tunes.
I
That's
want
it from
it
us.
now.
There we go. That's it from us. Back tomorrow. Bye for now.